Hello everyone, I'm Blossom here, and I'm from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again. I know it has been 3 whole years since the last video game collection video, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is the reason why it just took so long to able to get onto the next video game collection video. Because of this though, we've been busy lately, and also as you can see on the background, I apologize for that little mess at the moment, because I'll discuss more about this until after this video is done. So anyways, yeah, welcome to the long-awaited next installment in terms of my video game collection video, in terms of the Maxi Toys department. Next up, do you remember how back in 2017 that recently Daffy Duck has managed to done the Wii U game collection video, even though we actually got a small amount, if you couldn't tell for that point. But today for this installment, because of this though, for 2 reasons mostly. For number 1, I'm actually really excited to do this collection, and second, after this video has been released, Paper Mario the Origami King will be releasing tomorrow from everywhere else. So here it is. The Nintendo Switch, as you can see right here, and as you can tell, I've managed to place in the neon red and neon blue Joy-Con controllers, as you can see on screen, despite the fact that usually just gets catching a reflection, as you can see right here. So this machine was first released in March the 3rd in 2017, which I can't even believe it's been 3 years since this machine was actually first released. And come with it is of course the grey color choice, which most people prefer neon blue and neon red color choice because it looks a little bit more vibrant. But I do know for the fact that a friend of mine, Stuart from CapKing74, that he got himself the neon blue and neon red color. And as a result, not much else to say apart from the fact that, well, what I can gather is the fact that this particular device, usually calls it back in the day, was also known as the NX. So either way, I just want to classify that for that specific name. And what I can gather is the fact that the Nintendo Switch, as far as the console itself goes, is actually doing super well, as in the March 31st in 2020, despite with, the pandemic has been going on, or the virus situation has been happening, but it did certainly manage to get a massive step up compared to the forms of, Nintendo Wii U and stuff like that, which I appreciated. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Wii U gamepad over there. Anyway, and this machine was sold for about, well, let's just say, it did got about 55.77 million units sold, which I think is actually really, really incredible, considering how the fact that this is a massive step up for, the Wii U. And also the best-selling games on this system, much like the Nintendo Wii U, Mario Kart 8, specifically Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, is actually the best-selling games on this particular system. Probably because most people enjoy Mario Kart all the time. So even then though, yeah, the only bad thing about this particular device, specifically I've got the normal version, as you can see, sometimes the battery drains a lot, by the way. So even then, I would appreciate if I was going to get the improvement battery life, but I'm actually going to save up for, specifically Paper Mario, the Origami King, and the rest. So either way though, because of this though, and also there's a Switch Lite existence, which we're not going to talk about that later, or we're not going to talk about that right now, because anyway, let's get on to the actual collection in terms of Nintendo Switch lineup of games, as far as you can tell from the title. So either way though, and as usual, we'll try our best if we go for the alphabetical order. So let's get this thing started. So here we go. First game we have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Yes, I also own this on the Wii U version, if you couldn't tell. And the reason why we got this version, along with the 3DS version right now, is because of the Super Mario Odyssey levels featured in this game. So, you guys know a thing about this particular game right here, because we did a redo Let's Play of this game, specifically the Switch version, as you can see. So even then, yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. Next, Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. Yes, it also contains Stormy Ascent and Future Tense on almost every platform at this rate. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. Specifically, although it does have its graphical downfalls on the forms within the Switch version, but apart from those side of things though, I can usually play it on the go. So that means I can enjoy Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 on the go, which it also contains a remastered stunning visuals and all that stuff. So yeah, really appreciate it. So even then, I need to get back into it at some point. Well, I've also got this on the PlayStation 4 version, so including recently we got the physical copies of Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 for the original nostalgia reasons. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Now, this is actually a really great remake of the beloved kart racing game back on the PlayStation, which is on, of course, PlayStation 1. And the only biggest difference is of course, the graphical overhaul, and especially noticeable, well, the only makes things a little bit of a downgraded compared to the original to me, though, is the fact that it actually contains microtransactions, which, you know, that was a little bit of a shame, really, because as far as this kart racing game is concerned, this is a really fun kart racing game next to, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I'll show to you in just any moments later. And also, I would say, technically speaking, I don't know actually. I know it's been quite a few days since I actually come back into certain kart racing games, I know. But I must get back into this, even though sometimes that I might actually miss out on DLC Grand Prix. So as far as you can, as far as I can remember. But anyway. Next. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and this is actually a port to the Wii U version of the game, but with a noticeable new addition is of course new funky mode, which is essentially the easy mode of the entire game. So as far as this particular port goes, I still really enjoy Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and as far as I'm aware, it's the fact that, well, recently I've managed to able to complete this recently, even though despite the fact that I've already owned the Wii U version, so that way I've managed to recently play the original game on the Wii U, but I thought to myself, I might as well able to play this, so yeah, really looking forward to that. Or even in this case, I did manage to able to enjoy that game some other times. So either way though, not much else I can usually decide to talk about this, I'm afraid, but either way though, that's how it usually goes basically in terms of everything else that resides. Next up, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Definitely the more definitive version of the three because, well, for one noticeable thing, the frame rate is actually a lot better. Plus, the graphics do look a bit way more detailed than the ones in the Wii U version and the 3DS version as far as I can tell. Plus, it also contains all of the DLCs between, let's just say, both the Wii U and the 3DS versions at the same time. And also contains some costumes based off from Breath of the Wild and all that stuff. So even then though, I haven't really touched upon this version as much, just because, well, I still need to get back onto the 3DS version so I can play on the go, and also I need to get back onto the Wii U version for the sake of practicing this game, because as far as doing next set of Let's Plays are concerned, I think I might actually tackle through the Hyrule Warriors on the Switch version most likely in terms of, you know, new Let's Plays in the future, just because, well, I just feel like trying to go for one version, not just all three, because doing all three can get pretty tedious, I have to say, for this point right now. But you know, you get the suggest. Yep, I think that's the correct one. Next, Kirby Star Allies. So, yeah, I actually enjoyed it, despite the game itself is really easy compared to the forms of how it does it in, the previous installments, specifically Planet Robobot, specifically in True Arena mode, and also same applies to the previous Kirby games, that's for sure. And as far as this particular Kirby traditional platformers goes, I had a pretty good time. Not the perfect game in the world. I mean, sure, the frame rate itself is actually now dropped to you know, 30 frames per second, which is a little bit of a letdown because I'm pretty much used to with playing Kirby games on 60 frames per second, but for whatever reason it just drops into 30. Although it's fine on the main menus though, but in the actual gameplay, well, sadly to say, it does have lower frame rate. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it. So even then though, yeah, as far as I can usually think about it. Alright, apologize for that little awkwardness has been going on because I need to try to settle things for a moment. I think it's the next game I was going to bring out. Luigi's Mansion 3, and I absolutely enjoy this installment of Luigi's Mansion. Sure, it's way more longer than the forms of how it does it on the previous games, as far as I recall correctly. Even though I haven't really touched upon it that much, probably because of how the fact that for one noticeable thing, I'm pretty much stuck on floor 10 due to the forms of that pyramid puzzle kind of stuff, which I need to get back into that. And yeah, this game also has DLC content with it. And as far as this particular Luigi's Mansion goes, specifically the third installment of the series, I actually really enjoyed it. So even then, I do enjoy the charm to it, and also the amount of world themes, or floor themes, as what's known for there, because, you know, we're going to be exploring the hotel. I actually really enjoyed this installment, so I probably should able to get back into this, probably during at some point in October again, when it gets to, like, Halloween once again, just like the forms of how it does it on most any other Halloween-themed kind of stuff. As far as you already know about this by that time, but either way though, that's all I could usually just try to make it for the doubt. So anyway, oh yeah, here's the next game here, and most people seem to be really looking forward to this, but The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't really touched upon this that much, probably because, well, it's nothing bad or anything, although I know you guys are probably thinking you might as well able to get your pitchforks out, but let me explain. The visuals look amazing. Even for the Zelda game, it is super impressive for the visual standpoint. The soundtrack is magnificent, and also for the first time ever in the Zelda series, not counting the Philips terrible CDI games, they actually include a voice acting, which is actually pretty cool looking. And also the forms of the open world kind of game like this, which is actually super impressive. But I have one little gripe I have with it though, for a little bit, and that was the forms of the weapon degradation, which you know what I mean, that basically some of these weapons can break very easily. Although don't get me wrong, it is an enjoyable game, don't get me wrong. It's just the fact that I need to get back into this at some point, after when I'm pretty much finish up with the majority of the 3D Zelda games first. But then once I'm completely done with that 3D Zelda games in mind, then I can probably get back into this. And luckily, Breath of the Wild sequel is going to be on its way, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. But it's just the fact that I need to get some more time out of this, and especially noticeable to get a lot of practice with it. So even because of, you know, the weapon degradation and stuff like that. Just saying. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and as far as this remake of Link's Awakening goes, this was without doubt one of the best definitive version of the game in my opinion. As far as the entire Link's Awakening game is concerned, I actually really had an enjoyable experience with this particular remake goes. And despite because, you know, it has some pretty impressive graphics for the time, and also the inventory system has been a hell of a lot more better than the forms of how it does it in the original counterpart, in my opinion. And the soundtrack is really, I would say good, but I won't say it's the greatest soundtracks I've ever heard. I mean, sure, there are some cool set pieces in here and there. And also, the visuals do look really gorgeous, especially if this is on 60 frames per second, just like in A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS, which I appreciate it. So even then, I can't wait to see what's going to be up next in terms of Zelda remakes is concerned. Because as far as this particular version goes for Link's Awakening, as I said, definitely recommend this remake because it is so good. But you know, you probably know what I'm talking about right here, so either way though, that's all I could really doubt it for anyway. Next, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, or as far as the spine says, Tokyo 2020. And you guys know a thing about this because we are recently still doing the LP of it. Specifically, Sonic and Mario most likely because, you know, they probably need to get back into this. So even though no comments to be said and done. And as far as I can gather, they did manage to be able to improve everything in terms of Rio 2016 has on the Wii U, despite there are some good and some bad elements to this still, but either way though, we did have a pretty good time on this, and especially noticeable that, Sonic and Mario need to get back into that game at some point. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and I actually really enjoyed this, even though the only point I've actually got into at the moment is actually I'm pretty much at the halfway point of the game, specifically the main story mode. But because of that, though, the only world I'm actually stuck into is World 3-4, because I have no idea why my strategies didn't seem to work half the time. But regardless of such, though, it does have a lot of charm to it, and especially noticeable with how the fact that I am actually really had a blast for this, even though I need to get back into this at some point, even though I need to get a lot of memorization to get this right, in terms of, correct strategy paths and all the other stuff, and some correct weapons you have to equip, and the partner members essentially. So either way though, but as far as this particular, this thing is concerned, I actually do manage to have an enjoyable blast on it. So even then, I still need to get back into that at some point. Even though because of how the fact that sometimes some distractions might be the case. So either way. Next, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In this case, the more superior version of between the two. Because it's pretty obvious they actually improved the battle mode, and also some item fixing issues, and also some new power-ups, or no, not so much for new power-ups, new items, and especially noticeable for new playable characters on the line. And, I actually really had an enjoyable time in this game, and it's easily the best-selling games on this Switch so far, which is pretty impressive still, just like in the Wii U version. And, you should probably definitely recommend this. And you guys know I think about this because we did an LP of it. Speaking of other Let's Plays, as far as I'm aware, or in this case, not so much, but Mario Tennis Aces. Although I have played it for a little bit, but I've never actually played it as much. I have no idea why. Despite we got all the DLC characters now, which I think is actually pretty huge plus, but I haven't really gone back into it. I have no idea why. Probably because of a lot of distractions I was going to be interact with. But as far as this Mario Tennis is concerned, this was actually the second best one, even though this is a much more of a step forward. In this case, much better than the ones of how the Wii U usually has. Because with the Wii U version, in this case, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash specifically, they had lesser amount of content, which I think that what makes Ultra Smash the worst game in existence. But apart from that, though, the visuals do look very identical, to be honest with you, compared to Ultra Smash, but I still find this game to be super satisfying to play, even though despite the fact that I've not touched this game for quite some time. But I will eventually come back into it at some point, whenever I do manage to finish up with some other Switch games. So either way, though, because it takes a lot more time to be able to, get a grips with it. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, or as I like to call it, Super Mario Bros. 8 DX, because, that's what the 8th installment is all about in terms of 2D Mario platformers, as far as I can remember. So, as far as this port goes, I actually really enjoyed it, though, even though despite most people seem to never really ask for it too much, even especially noticeable, despite this game did manage to beat Super Mario Maker 2 in terms of selling points for whatever reason, but it does manage to include new Super Mario Bros. U and new Super Luigi U all in one game cartridge, which, is kind of like the similar thing for the Wii U version, but some people might able to actually go for the Nintendo Selects edition in terms of the original Wii U version of the games, as far as I can say about it. But, despite you can able to actually play as the amount of characters you can able to play as you want this time around, which is kind of a cool thing. But yeah, that's as far as I can say about this version. And you guys should know about this because we did an LP of it back in about 2019. So there's no comments from here. But you just might able to actually just have to get a lot of usage from that particular usage on that. I don't know, whatever. Pokmon Tournament DX, even though I haven't really touched upon it that much, clearly because of a lot of distraction. But as far as I can usually think about this, this is without doubt the superior version of Pokmon Tournament as far as I can remember because of new playable characters, new support Pokemon and stuff like that, and because usually relatively speaking, recently we got some DLC with it, including Celebi as a support Pokemon. But I'm not exactly a huge Pokemon fanatic, I have to be honest here. But whenever I'm done with most other Switch games, then I can probably get back into this at some point. Even trying out some, fighting styles and all that. But from what I've heard, it's actually a really good version of Pokmon Tournament DX, even though it's basically a port to the Wii U game. Even though it's a good thing we don't get the Wii U version to begin with, just because I'm gonna save up for something else entirely. But that's just in my opinion. Alright, next up we have Rayman Legends Definitive Edition. Now, I haven't played this much either, clearly because I was pretty much used to with the Wii U version as far as any other versions of Rayman Legends goes. But it might be still a pretty fun game, even when you can able to play this on the go. But I did play pretty much a demo version of this game, and I actually had a blast for it, even though despite the controls might be a little bit weird to get used to at first, clearly because I'm more used to with directional D-pad as far as 2D platforming games is concerned. But yeah, I must get around to that though at some point, even whenever I finish up with the Wii U version first, or something like that. Alright, time for the moment you've all been waiting for those of you the Sonic fans out there, but, oh wait, yeah, I think it's about time. Sonic Mania Plus, and I actually really love this game. It's pretty much exactly similar to the original Sonic Mania on a digital download version, but it actually includes Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Squirrel, since in Sega Sonic the Hedgehog Japanese arcade system. So that's pretty cool stuff. It also includes the Encore mode, as well as 4-player competition mode, which I really appreciate about this version. Or in this case, in some other degree, DLC expansion to the original Sonic Mania. And yeah, this is without doubt, I would say my second favorite Sonic games I've ever played, along with, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Because the only problem with this game, though, is there's a lack of originality. But it does have some very cool new zones they actually added in, specifically Studiopolis, and also same applies to Press Garden. Press Garden is so beautiful. Especially noticeable how the fact that, well, you can able to actually listen to that amazing soundtrack on there. So yeah, it's really cool stuff though, and you should definitely recommend this. Even though I need to get back into that at some point, probably because, the Encore DLC thing just recently happened, so I must get around to that. Alright, next up, despite it's a little bit mess in terms of alphabetical order, but whatever. Sonic Forces. It's alright. I mean, it's not the best comeback in terms of the boost formula Sonic games we're ever going to be hoping to make its return, I don't know. But as far as this particular installment of the Sonic game is concerned, in my opinion, this is without doubt one of my least favorite boost formula Sonic games, because I still prefer Sonic Colors, and despite its 2D gameplay, and also same applies to Sonic Generations, because Sonic Generations was so fantastic. But as far as this particular installment is concerned, I don't normally enjoy this that much. Although, for those of you probably wondering, that if you ever played the Switch version, yes, it will include the 30 frames per second, as opposed to the PS4 version and the Xbox One versions. They do have a superior frame rate. But as far as this version goes, definitely one of the low points in terms of all 4 versions of this game, or all 3 versions as far as I'm aware, if you want to count the PC Steam version of the game. But if you want to try it, then yeah, by all means. And you guys know about this because we did an LP of it back in, I think it was in 2018, I think. Maybe. I might be wrong, but either way though, we'll just have to leave it to that. Splatoon 2, the sequel to the amazing Wii U title Splatoon. Although, disappointingly, I haven't got around to it yet. Sure enough, because I need to get around on the first game first, and then once I'm done with the first game on the Wii U, then I can probably get onto the forms of Splatoon 2, despite my Wii U save data corruption has been happening since during 2018. So, yeah, I need to get around to that. But for what I can gather, it's actually more an improvement over the likes of the original game. So even then, I'm very, very curious to able to try this out, even playing this properly for reals. So either way, though, we can able to leave it up to that. But either way, though, yeah. Alright, here's the next game. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. And as far as this particular remaster is concerned, even for one of my favorite SpongeBob games I've ever played, I actually really enjoyed this. Even though I'm actually still in the middle of the PlayStation 4 version because I was I think I'm towards the end of the PS4 version kind of thing about it. But this is more accurately the same game as the original counterpart, but with the improvement graphics and everything. Although the noticeable downgrade compared to the original game this time around is the fact that they have a whole bunch of loading times. Plus, on the Switch version, it does manage to become a little bit unplayable at times compared to the PlayStation 4 version, even the Xbox One version, because there are some graphical glitches on the Switch version, as well as the controls can get a little bit reversed compared to the forms of how it does it on the PS4 version, because I'm used to it with the PS4 version still. But whenever I'm done with the PS4 version of this amazing remastered, then I can probably get onto the Switch version. Maybe do a Let's Play of it at some point, I don't know. But it does have some save slots, so we're able to actually expect that. Alright, here's another game I was able to grab. Spyro Reunited Trilogy. I actually really enjoy this particular compilation right here. Even though despite I'm actually in the middle of the PS4 version still. But as far as the actual remaster of those amazing Spyro games on the PlayStation 1 is concerned, definitely more recommendable to able to play the remake for those of you who don't have the PlayStation 1 every now and then. But even then, I'll need to get around to it at some point. But usually, relatively speaking, I'm actually looking forward to it. So even then, I'm very pleased about to have this. Even especially noticeable that particular remaster does just manage to exist anyway. So I'm very appreciative for able to actually just to have that in there. Alright, next. Where was it? I do apologize, folks. But anyway. Super Mario Maker 2, the sequel to Super Mario Maker 1. And as far as this particular installment goes, in terms of Super Mario Maker series, not bad. Apart from the terrible online mode, which I have to be honest here, they still attempt to go pretty much laggy, and also because of how bad that I really, really wish if they're able to fix the online mode issues, because they still managed to, lag a little bit, which I think it did manage to kill the experience for me. But apart from those issues, though, I actually really had an enjoyable blast for it. Even though I've only made one level of it so far, but I haven't really made that much levels though, because the hardest part about this game, along with the first game for me sometimes, is give the actual level's name or something original about it. But apart from that though, I actually really enjoyed it. Even the story mode is actually included, which I do appreciate it. So yeah. Super Mario Party! In this case, most people seem to confusingly call this Mario Party 11 because it's the 11th entry in the series. Very, very pleased about this game because they brought back the classic elements from the Mario Party series, even though it wasn't perfect by any means because, the amount of boards they have is like super small. Plus, this is the only Nintendo Switch game I've ever owned that does not support handheld mode, so I just want to point that out. And yeah, for those of you who want to know about this game, because we did an LP of it, and I'm really looking forward to see what's up next for, for the next Mario Party at some point in the future. But you get the idea for that point. Super Mario Odyssey! I absolutely love this game so much. Clearly because of a few things. Visuals look absolutely stunning, even for on the Nintendo Switch. And also because of how the fact that it borrows back from the sandbox gameplay from the likes of Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, or to be more specifically, Super Mario 64 most likely. And the soundtrack is so amazing, and even the Cappy system is enjoyable usage, which I can't wait until when Super Mario's 35th anniversary will do something next out of this. If they're about to be making a sequel of this, I'm super hyped for it. If not, oh well. but I've still been able to enjoy that game so much. Alright, next up we have... oh, there's another one. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. As far as this remaster is concerned, compared to the forms of how it does it in, the majority of the Monkey Ball games, this was without doubt one of the least interested remasters, because for one noticeable thing, it's basically based off from the forms of the mixed reception Banana Blitz game, which I don't mind the original game, but as far as this remaster is concerned, it really seemed to disappoint me a little bit. Clearly because of how the fact that they actually cut out a lot of mini-games this time around, plus about the fact that, well, the only good thing about this remastered compared to everything else is that Sonic the Hedgehog was actually a playable character, which is actually pretty cool. And also the soundtrack has been recycled them from the original games from before, or even they just sound from the actual YouTube's audio library. But at least they kept Smooth Sherbert, the best song in the game. But this is probably due to the licensing issues, which most of the original soundtrack is gone completely. So, yeah, I might get around to this and during the Let's Play of this at some point, but only with the Sonic playthrough. So because of that, though, because there's not much right to hum about. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, this was without doubt one of my favorite, Nintendo Switch games in the series of this Super Smash Bros. Series as of now. Because I'm just gonna have to be brutally honest here when it comes to Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U for a moment, whenever I compare that to this. I'm not exactly a pure fan of Smash Bros. For Wii U in my opinion, although don't get me wrong, it is an enjoyable time, but it's just that the challenges itself in Smash for Wii U is ridiculously hard, and it so much got to the point it really frustrated the hell out of me. But thankfully the challenges list in Smash Ultimate did manage to calm down me a little bit. But as far as this particular installment of Smash Bros. Goes, I think, oh man, I actually had a really pure blast with it. Even though I need to get back into this at some point because of more spirits I need to able to obtain, but at least I did manage to complete the World of Light story mode, and also unlock the rest of the entire cast, and also same applies to get some DLC characters as well. But at least I did manage to complete all the challenges though, but sometimes I have to use the actual hammer, because sometimes the challenges itself can get a little bit redundant, but either way. Team Sonic Racing, and much like Sonic Forces, it managed to able to contain 30 frames per second on this version, so if you want to know what that is, basically in the PS4 version and the Xbox One version does manage to contain the superior frame rate, but as far as this version goes, definitely not recommended. Go for the PS4 version if you want to be able to have some enjoyable experience. Of all the actual Sonic racing games we're going to be having ourselves so far, I think this is without doubt one of my least favorites out of all the digital, Sumo Digital Sonic racing games. I still kind of prefer the original game as well as Transformed, if you will. But as far as this particular kart racing game is concerned, I enjoyed it for a little bit, but nowhere near as much as the previous two. But apart from those side of things though, Sonic, I think it's Definitely actually, definitely still need to get back into this at some point, mainly on November. So even then I just want to let you guys know about this. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I'm so glad I got the Switch version, not the Wii version and the 3DS version. Because as far as I've noticed on the Wii version, it's pretty expensive. And the 3DS version, it does have a worse looking graphics, but ultimately speaking, I'm actually very happy with the Switch version. Because as far as the Switch version is concerned, ignore that IGN reviews by the way, because they're all terrible. This version is without doubt the best looking version of the three, at least in my opinion. But I think this is the only version I'm actually going to be keep, and probably might as well play it from time to time, even though I haven't really touched upon it. Just like Zelda Breath of the Wild, but really looking forward to playing the rest of it. And the last game, as far as the physical Switch games are concerned, Yoshi's Crafted World. And you guys know a thing about this, because I'm pretty dang sure that Piglet, he's pretty much gonna able to continue doing this until, likely at some point, until September, because either way though, hopefully, he would able to finish that Let's Play up before we move on to the next set of few Let's Plays in particular, but either way though, yeah, you probably already know what this is, so even then, as far as this Yoshi game's concerned, I actually enjoyed it for a little bit, but the only downsides I can think of is the fact that there's going to be a lot of tedium going on. Likely the souvenir huntings, and also same applies to, while most of the collectibles can be pretty well hidden. Well, nowhere near as well hidden, but I don't know, it's hard to explain sometimes. But anyway, did manage to enjoy that, but hopefully Piglet will get back into that game and join at some point during, September. But that doesn't end off here, because we'd like to give you some honorable mentions, such as the eShop digital download version. So if I can bring my Switch over here, and, oh, don't want to smack it, and turn the thing on, and yep, the Paper Mario The Origami King is about to come out tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to trying that game out. So either way though, we'll just skip this a lot, and go to all software, and I need to get rid of that fingerprint until later, because sometimes, as you can see, I just got my stained glass, or in this case, that little glass protection of the screen. So anyways, here's the actual digital download games I actually got, such as Cuphead, as you can see right there. It is brutally difficult, that game, but apart from that though, I actually really enjoyed it, even though I need to get back into that at some point. And the next game we have is Sega Ages lineup, such as Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and of course Sonic the Hedgehog 2, just because I can able to play these two games on the go. Plus, it actually contains the drop dash feature from the likes of Sonic Mania. So, fast worth mentioning for that kinds of stuff though, and yeah, I can see the rest of the entire Switch game lineups. There's some ton of ND games out there every now and then, but either way though, we can able to actually just leave it to that. So we'll just, switch that, switch off. And that's pretty much about it in terms of the rest of the Nintendo Switch game collection. So yeah, it's really cool, nominal, even though we actually got plenty of physical stuff. So even then, I'm very glad that we've now been able to actually experience the Nintendo Switch game collection stuff for you folks. And I suppose we should probably end this video as it goes. So this is me, Blossom, from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And until then, I would say the next video game collection video, as far as I'm aware, this could be very difficult, actually. I believe next up we might as well do is the, think, Blossom, think. I know. The next video game collection video we're going to be hop into is the PlayStation 2 collection video until next time. So yeah, see you guys until at some point soon.